Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we're diving into why the Caribbean can't fully replace the USA as Canada's primary trading partner. With the way things are going, diversifying trade partners seems like a good idea. The Caribbean, with its beautiful beaches and vibrant culture, might seem like the perfect candidate, but as with most things, the devil is in the details. So grab your rum punch and let's unpack this, shall we? Let's be honest, folks, the US is a behemoth when it comes to trade. They're Canada's biggest trading partner, gobbling up over 75% of Canada's exports. It's because the US economy is massive and their consumers love to consume. The Caribbean, on the other hand, is a collection of much smaller economies. They're like the quirky, independent coffee shop compared to the Starbucks of the United States. Charming, but they simply don't have the same buying power. It's like asking your local bakery to handle the demand of a national grocery chain. They'd be up to their elbows in flour and probably out of business within a week. The Caribbean has potential, but expecting them to absorb the volume of goods Canada ships to the US is like expecting a Chihuahua to win a weightlifting competition against a grizzly bear. It's just not a fair fight. Let's talk infrastructure. When it comes to trade, it's not just about what you're selling, it's about how easily you can get it to the buyer. The US and Canada are like two neighbors with a superhighway through their backyards for easier access. They've got cross-border highways, rail systems, pipelines. It's a well-oiled machine. The Caribbean, unfortunately, doesn't have that luxury. Their trade infrastructure is more like a network of winding back roads. You might get to your destination, but it'll take longer, cost more, and there's a higher chance of encountering potholes. The Caribbean has ports, airports, and some decent roadways. But the scale and efficiency just aren't there to rival the US-Canada trade network. Efficient trade is all about speed and reliability. Canada already has trade agreements with the Caribbean, like CARICOM. But trade agreements are like gym memberships. Signing up doesn't mean you'll bench press a small car. These agreements have boosted trade, but the volume is still dwarfed by US-Canada trade. Could we expand these agreements? Absolutely. Should we? Of course. But even with the most ambitious expansion, it's unlikely to bridge the massive gap in trade volume. Trade is a two-way street. You need a willing buyer for what you're selling. The Caribbean imports a lot, but their needs differ from what Canada sends to the US. Think of it like this. The Caribbean craves jerk chicken while Canada shows up with poutine. The Caribbean primarily imports food, energy, and manufactured goods. They're not clamoring for Canada's surplus of lumber, automobiles, and heavy machinery. Canada can adapt, but pivoting our entire export strategy to align with Caribbean demand would be monumental. It's not impossible, but it's definitely not a quick fix. It's like asking a polar bear to suddenly become a vegetarian. So there you have it, folks. The Caribbean holds immense potential for trade, but isn't a simple one-to-one replacement for the US. Instead of viewing the Caribbean as a replacement, Canada should see it as a complementary partner, strengthening ties, improving infrastructure, and exploring new avenues for collaboration can lead to mutually beneficial growth. It's about building a diverse portfolio of trade partners, not putting all our eggs in one basket. Let's raise a glass to the potential of Canada-Caribbean trade, with a commitment to building sustainable, long-term partnerships.